Hello. Oh, you know what? I want to be able to see the dashboard. Ah, there we go. Now I can see everything. Hello. Oh, goodness me. It's the hair. It's the hair. I just got back from picking my daughter up and going to the gym. My God. We had a 2-hour late start today, which threw a wrench into my schedule. So I went to the gym and coming home for this. But I want to show you some of the things that I use in my mornings to, keep the sugar down and regulate my blood sugar and feel good for the rest of the day. So I'm going to add it to this in case you don't have it. I want to make sure that you have I want to make sure that you have the link to the guide for this week. So I'm going to pull that up, which I should have done before, because this week we're doing the blood sugar boot camp, and I'm doing this in my membership group and for my January CGM Jumpstart. But I'm doing the first week with everybody because I think everybody should do it. Cut the sugar. There we go. Can I do this? I can't do it. I'll put it in later. I want to make sure that you have this guide because it gives you the schedule for the week, and it gives you some good tips about, it's going to give you some of the tips I'm going to show you today about how I cut the sugar and things and still, have good food and drink during the week. Because it's nicer to have substitutions than just to say, just eliminate everything. Because sometimes that's what it sounds like. So, welcome. I had a question for you guys. I am actually curious when I say cut the sugar. I'm wondering for you, what do you feel like is going to be the hardest thing for you to give up this week? Because remember, we're just talking about this week. What's the hardest thing? Because for me, I thought the hardest thing was for me to stop putting maple syrup on my oatmeal. Or sometimes I use that nice dark muscovado sugar, just a little bit, but I mean, it's basically pure sugar on my oatmeal in the morning. Because I've been thinking I should do that for a long time, but I've been like, no, I love that so much. There's no way I'll give it up. Also, the hard thing for me is snacking, grabbing like a handful of chocolate chips when I'm hungry, when I'm making dinner. I know, it's like so embarrassing that I even admit that, but I mean, we all have those things. I thought that would be hard. But I am on day 2. So yesterday was day 1, which was the low-hanging fruit. And it was just cutting out. And so for me, cutting out low-hanging fruit was stop eating Lindor truffles after every meal. And there's still some in there, but I didn't do it. Stop eating ice cream. And we don't always have ice cream, but it's been making an appearance more often. Don't have toast with jam as a snack, because when I put my homemade jam on toast, it's like, have a little toast with your jam, Karen. And stop snacking on chocolate chips while you're making dinner, or randomly, instead of feeding yourself something nourishing. Those are my big low-hanging fruit. So I dropped those yesterday, and I did fine. I did fine. I did it. And then today, for me, today is my day 2. I don't know if today is your day 2. I hope you feel like you can just jump in now, wherever you're at. My day 2 is having a sugar-free breakfast. And for some of you might be there already. You don't have any sugar with your breakfast. And remember, I'm broadening the idea of sugar to include milk because we know that milk affects your blood sugar so profoundly. Like, milk spikes your glucose and insulin levels more than it should, given how much glucose is in there. And I'm not sure why, but we see it over and over. So milk, even half and half in your coffee on an empty stomach, just skyrockets your glucose. So for me, my breakfast that I've been having, I sort of like the, eggs on the omelet breakfast, but it's just easier and less hassle for me if I make a big, in my what's it called? A rice cooker. I have a programmable rice cooker. I just put oats, dulse, chia seeds, a pinch of salt, water, and I cook it. And then whenever people want to eat, they can just go in and take it out, just like rice, but oatmeal. And so I do that, and I will sometimes put some raisins, and I put ground flax seeds, and I put a little maple syrup or muscovado sugar on it, and some peanut butter. And so today, I pulled the raisins back because I know how much raisins spike my glucose, and I didn't add sweetener. And I thought that would be the end of my world. But I'll tell you what I did. So one, peanut butter, because protein. Nothing stabilizes your blood sugar like protein. So I threw a big heaping tablespoon of peanut butter in there, which I always do. And the other dessert delicious, but it was good, it was nourishing, I ate it, and it was no problem. The world didn't end. The world didn't end. And I felt really stable. I felt good eating it. So that's what I did this morning. Yeah, I'm really interested. I'm interested to know what you think the hardest thing for you to give up is. And I'd love it if you entered it, typed it in the comments in this live, or if you're watching the replay in the thread. Because it's interesting to find out what you think is going to be the hardest, and then to be able to look back on it. Because I thought the breakfast would be the hardest for me. And I think, for me, having this defined period of time of the week makes it easier, because it doesn't feel like I'm giving something up forever. I'm just going to do it for a week, and you can do anything for a week, really. And knowing that other people are doing it with me. It helps if I have a group, and I think if I'm asking other people to do it, I need to do it. And I've always done things that way. I feel like I can give better guidance on things if I can give personal examples. And usually I'm asking people to do things that might be good for me too. So that helps me. So I don't want to be on here long. I want you to be able to listen to this and get on with things. So what I want to give you is, I want to give you some of my tricks, my things that help me have a morning that gets me going, that doesn't have added sugar, which includes milk and half. So I'm not doing this in my kitchen. So I brought a bunch of stuff in here. So of course one is peanut butter, and you don't have to have this, but it's basically protein. And I'll talk about this till I'm blue in the face. Eating protein before you have any carbohydrates stabilizes your blood sugar and reduces your cravings, in part because the blood sugar spike induces cravings. So that protein, but also sometimes I have a smoothie, especially if I'm going to be on the go, and I get, I think a lot of my clients will get a protein powder that they like, that doesn't have sugar and has decent ingredients. Fine. I have an account that allows me to access professional supplements, so I get like what we call medical food. So I like either getting a whey protein or a collagen protein or pea protein, and it's basically a multivitamin. So if I'm having a smoothie on a regular basis, I don't take a multi, because this basically has a B complex in it with methylated B vitamins. Good for some people, maybe not good for some others. Some minerals like extra magnesium, zinc, inositol. Anyways, you don't need to hear everything in here. But I like this product. And I can get 20 grams of protein in a quick smoothie and then take it with me. And it's a nice product. So that's my protein. And if I'm making a protein smoothie or anything else, I always need fat. You always need fat. How much fat depends on the kind of diet you're doing. But you know that two things about adding fat to your food is, one, it makes you full. It helps you stay full longer, so you don't need to start snacking half an hour after your breakfast, which sometimes I get really hungry after my breakfast. Two, it also helps slow down the release of food from your stomach. So it slows down the absorption of glucose and carbohydrates. So even if you do have some sugar, or, I'm having oatmeal for breakfast, I want to slow down the absorption of those carbohydrates so it flattens my glucose curve. And protein is great for that. Fiber is great for that. But fat adds a little bit too. So have some fat. And the third reason to have fat, of course, is you can't absorb fat-soluble vitamins unless you have some fat in your meal. It's true. You need a little fat with your meal. And for me, that's usually all out of ease. I can get it in my peanut butter when I'm putting it in my oatmeal. But if I'm making a smoothie, I put about a teaspoon of coconut oil in it, and it adds a nice little bit of added fat. Of course, the other reason to add fat is it also helps your digestion. It stimulates the secretion of bile into your digestive system. And bile is good. We'll just leave it at that for now. So I got my protein with either my peanut butter, my whey protein, or eggs. Eggs, whatever you're doing, some leftover soup. I get some fat in there. But now I want to tell you my thing about, you might have heard about Bulletproof Coffee. Have you heard of this? This has been around for a while, but I realized there's some people who've never heard of this. And it's, Dave Asprey, who started Bulletproof, the biohackers. They make a bulletproof coffee by, instead of adding milk or cream or all those things, they take a good quality coffee and they just add fat to it so that it doesn't spike your blood sugar. And depending on your reasons for fasting, can help you prolong a fast, especially if you're fasting from carbohydrates and trying to keep your insulin levels down. That's usually what we're doing. So what I do, and what a lot of people do, is we'll put a combination of, I know it sounds strange, but it's good, unsalted butter and coconut oil in either your coffee or your tea or another hot beverage. And I know it sounds like an oil slick on the top, but it's good. You can also use MCT oil. And MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides. And the reason we use these, and the difference between these types of fats and others, is that coconut oil, medium chain triglycerides, you heard that term medium chain? It means that fats are generally long carbon chains. But some are medium long, and some are short chain fatty acids. And the short chain and medium chain fatty acids tend to get utilized for energy, as in they just go shuttled to your mitochondria to get used up for energy so you can do the things rather than being stored for later. So they're good sources of energy, and coconut oil is a great source of those, and butter is a great source of short chain fatty acids. And short chain fatty acids, not only are they great for your general energy, they help to nourish your gastrointestinal tract. Yeah, so short chain fatty acids are what your intestinal epithelial use for fuel and healing. So it's a good thing. But I said unsalted butter because no one needs a salty coffee. So this is how I do it. I take, and I don't drink coffee because you might notice I talk really fast and I can get a little bit hyper. Coffee makes me a very unpleasant person to be around, and it over-zings me, which is unfortunate because I love coffee. I have been using this product, Mud Water. I talk about it a lot. And you can get this with and without caffeine, but even the stuff with caffeine is pretty low, and it comes with a lot of adaptogenic mushrooms, blah, blah. I like it. I don't use it every day, but I use it often before I go to the gym or something. I like it. And if you got the one without caffeine, you can have that any time of day. Anyways, I use this, and in my coffee cup, I will put in a scoop of this, and I'll put in about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon each of coconut oil and unsalted butter. And then the key ingredient, do you have one of these? This is a little battery operated foamer. And it has this little button here, and it foams your hot drink for you. Isn't that cool? I mean, you could do it with milk. If I had milk in there, you'd get a great foam. But you can do that with And then it blends up that butter and coconut oil into either your mud water or your coffee or your tea or whatever you're drinking. And then you don't get all that extra sugar, and you don't get that blood sugar spike from your hot drink. And you get healthy fats too. So I'd love it if you tried that. It's super slick. And of course, it's not going to taste the same as having whole milk or half and half in your coffee. It will taste different, but I think it tastes good. And here's what I've learned about tastes. You prefer what you have most of the time. You can train your palate. You can give yourself something new to eat and get yourself used to it. And lo and behold, you will often find that you prefer the new thing after a while, within reason. Within reason. I have found that over and over again with my preferences and other things. The most extreme examples are when I first started being more conscious of my diet back in the 90s, eating more whole food, less processed food, not eating fast food. I went a long time not having soda or any fast food at all. But I had these memories of things I loved. Kentucky Fried Chicken being one of them. And one day I just bought it and ate it, and it was disgusting. I couldn't eat it. And the same thing goes with soda. Me drinking just a fountain drink is disgustingly sweet. I get that some people really like it. It's not a judgment. I'm saying that your tastes will change. Your taste will change. Because as you'll see on my Real Food Matters page, Sue posted today this graphic about different foods and how much sugar is in them, including pasta sauces. We get used to having so much sugar in our food that we just become accustomed to expecting a sweet taste all the time. I know personally me, I'm fine with a very savory meal, but I want chocolate when it's done. And again, it's just a taste thing. It's a taste thing. And I'll give you my tips for that maybe tomorrow or the next day of how to hack the system to help you get over that hump of wanting to have a little sweet after your meal. But that's about breakfast. So I want you to start wherever you're at. I will skillfully put the handout somewhere on here. Get the guide to what we're doing this week, Kicking the Sugar, and do it with us. Start right where you are and just do one day at a time. Don't make yourself do all the things at once. Just do one day at a time, and know this is just the week, not even a week. We're just going to do 5 or 6 days just to reset our tastes. Because right now, when you're in a habit of having sweets all the time, like I am, then you act on compulsion. You act out of habit, and then you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice because you're just acting compulsively and mindlessly eating those Lindor chocolates and grabbing those chocolate chips while you're making dinner. That's what I find. And it's that way for me, and I find I'm not that different from other people, so I figure other people are going to be very similar to me. Okay? So those 2 things, make sure you have the guide. You don't have to sign up for my mailing list or anything. I'm just going to have it so you can download it and print it out or whatever. Follow along, and do tell me what you think is going to be the hardest thing for you in terms of things. If you have commented already, because sometimes that happens, I don't see them. I know I saw yesterday some people were on this call, and I couldn't see them because I'm just not savvy with this live platform. I should be. All right, so I will do this again tomorrow. Please share this if you want your friends to join you, if you think they'd like to join in. And of course, if you want to go more in depth on this blood sugar thing, we're going to be really hitting this hard this month in my membership group. And I have a 50% off. Oh, I can type this in. Blood sugar AR-50. This is my coupon code, blood sugar 50. So you can get half off of January's membership program this month. It's going to be all about blood sugar. And then a subset of you are really joining me, are really going to join me and do my CGM Jumpstart. And there's still time for you to get a prescription from your provider to get hooked up with this continuous glucose monitor with us. This stuff is awesome. And if you join the CGM Jumpstart, you'll automatically be in the membership program. So it's all connected. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions. I know I'm throwing a lot of new stuff out there this month because I'm a spaz and I get really psyched about all the new things. So if you have questions, just, email me or book a free call or whatever. I have lots of ways to get a hold of me. Sugar-free this week. Join me. See you guys later.